changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your Chicken Soup for the Soul. And today we're talking about positive thinking again, because after all, it's the new year and it's time for some new perspective. And our new book about 101 Ways to Think Positive does give you a lot of great ideas for adopting a new attitude, a new, more optimistic approach. And how about this idea? Motivation to pursue that passion or follow that dream that you've been thinking about for a while, maybe even for years, because it's never too late. Benny Wasserman, for example, never stopped following his dreams. This is a guy who got 2 fatal diseases in his 80s, pulmonary fibrosis, which is a disease of the lungs, and prostate cancer, which had metastasized to his bones. Benny's story is titled, Keep On Swinging, because that's just what he did. He always loved baseball, so he decided that he would practice hitting pitches in a batting cage. He started out hitting pitches that came at him doing 40 miles per hour. He progressed to 50, 60, 70, 80. Then he got to 90 mile per hour pitches when he was almost 90 years old. He says in his story that he hoped that he would keep hitting those 90 mile per hour pitches into his 90s. This feat was so impressive that Benny was actually interviewed by the LA Times, which came to the batting cage to see him and take pictures of him hitting those 90 mile per hour balls. And Benny said this in his story: "The power of positive thinking will not get rid of my stage 4 prostate cancer or my pulmonary fibrosis or any other ailments I have, but it probably has a lot to do with my hitting the 90 mile per hour balls at the batting cage. I now see my debilitating diseases as a horse race. For sure, one of them will be taking me down sooner or later. All I know is that I will go down swinging. My positive attitude is not going away anytime soon. It's all about mind over matter." Well, Benny's oldest son is a geriatric physician, and he put it this way: "We still don't understand it, but there are so many ways a positive attitude affects our whole body and our immune system." So that LA Times article appeared in 2023, but then the paper followed up in 2024 because unfortunately, Benny finally succumbed to one of the many ailments he had been putting to the side as he continued to live a very full life. And what I learned from that second article was that Topps Trading Cards actually produced a batch of Benny Wasserman baseball cards to honor him. And ESPN interviewed our almost 90-year-old baseball star. And when his family got together to hold a memorial for Benny, they did it at the obvious place, the Home Run Park batting cages near Knott's Berry Farm, where Benny had inspired so many people. Turning to a much younger Chicken Soup for the Soul writer, we also heard from Christine Byron in our new book about 101 Ways to Think Positive. Christine is actually the mother of our associate publisher, Diet Corona, who also has a story in the book. Well, Christine tells us that she had been telling her husband he should retire anytime he was ready. She'd been saying it for years. So when did he retire? During COVID, which meant that the fabulous trips that they had planned, one to Japan and another one a train tour of Canada, were canceled. And Christine says, lockdown was traumatic for everyone, but couple that with a newly 24/7 relationship after 50 odd years of working, and it really took some getting used to. It seems as though most women marry their husbands for dinner, but not lunch too. I had always told mine that when he retired, he needed to have a plan. He needed to have something to do, hobbies or interests that would occupy his time. Well, after several boring lockdown months, when the only place to go seemed to be Costco, Christine thought about her husband's love of sailing and the way that he had always talked about sailing the Caribbean. And that had all been put to the side many years ago. But now, with no job, no more family weddings, no more obligations, it was time to resurrect that dream. Diet found the perfect boat for sale on Facebook Marketplace, a 25-foot Catalina sailboat for only $5,500. Christine was so excited when she told her husband about it, but he was sure it must be awful for that price. She persisted, though, and with some decorating, some elbow grease, and some positive thinking, that boat turned out to be pretty nice. The boat was already called Therapy. So now Christine gets to tell everyone that her husband is at therapy whenever he goes out in the boat. We started that story with the perfect quote. I usually tell you who is the author of our quotes, but this one is pretty universal. It's sometimes attributed to Dolly Parton, but I think that plenty of people have said it, and here's how it goes. We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. I'm Amy Newmark. Thanks for listening today. You know, if you have your own stories to tell and you want to be published by Chicken Soup for the Soul, you can visit the Submit Your Stories section of our website at chickensoup.com. We are going to be publishing hundreds of new stories in the next year. So that's hundreds of opportunities for you to become a published author with us. And also, if you want to read more of our stories, you can get a free one in your email every day by signing up for our newsletter. Just go to our website, chickensoup.com, and click on newsletters, and you can pick the ones that you want. You can get a daily one. There's a weekly one if you only want one story per week. We also have weekly newsletters about specific topics, including pets, raising children, going through cancer, and faith and spirituality. And please come back for our next episode to hear more examples of how positive thinking changed someone's life.